So today I decided to go check out the Nike factory outlet down at DFO. Auburn had a special place in my heart, but it's no longer there. And the last time I went, or tried to go, didn't go so well. Alright, so we're going to Nike factory outlet at DFO. I've never been. Auburn has a special place in my heart, but this is the big leagues now, so let's see what it's about. I'm hoping they got something crazy. I'm hoping they got some Jordan stuff. I'm hoping, we'll see. So I shot down to DFO. As soon as you get there, man, like, it's crazy. You go straight in the car park and you see Nike everywhere. I'm gonna say they got a crazy setup there. It's a lot more modern than, say, Auburn was. The display just looked amazing, They also had like treadmills everywhere, so I don't know, like they were promoting a running sale at the time that I was there, so I'm not too sure if it was because of that, or you can actually get on the treadmill and like test out your runners. Me, I'm not doing too much running. My days of running and hopping fences, over. These joints here, I was actually really keen to see in person. I'd never seen them in person anywhere. But then if you look at the bubble, the fibers from the Zoom Air just seem to be like, I don't know, dying. But we went out there, and as good as it all looked, there was nothing really there that caught my eye. Actually, I shouldn't say that. There was definitely something that caught my eye. I was confused. The Air Max Zero is something that I got onto super late, right? So much so that I actually never got a pair. I remember seeing a navy pair at Pipe when they were specialing them out and getting rid of them, right? Tried them on, I'm like, yo, this is like the most comfortable shit I've ever worn. For me, initially, I was just like, the no tongue, I'm not really doing that. It's not for me. When I tried them on though, they're incredible. Problem was, I even let that one go. So when I saw these, I was half tempted, don't get me wrong, but I do like a bargain. I was also a bit confused because initially, check, I was like, man, these were all white too. I got a love-hate relationship with all white sneakers. They're good for about 10 wears. Let's be really real. But I was confused because I haven't seen any Air Max Zeros in a long time. So I checked the date on the size tag, and it said 2020. That means they came out last year, but where? So I honestly didn't see them anywhere. If there was any other colorway, I probably would have copped. amazing as the Nike factory outlet looked, there wasn't really anything there for me, and it was just stuff that probably should be on sale. I don't know what it is. The gold joints, I came close, you know, we're wearing the gold right now, you know, might have looked good with this, but just not for me, man. Like, I don't know, just not for me. One thing that really pissed me off was the 2090s being down to 120 bucks, because I paid full price for like all my shits. I figured it was going to be a silhouette that would be around for a long time. I really liked it myself. I bought a couple pairs, one in the Vault, which was a throwback to like a 90s colorway, and one which was like a lime green and blue. Any lime green shoe I'm going to cop. Look at these, like, it's pretty obvious that even OG colorways or common colorways or colorways that are usually a bit more hype can't save a bad shoe. If you look here, this is like a university red, throwback to like an Air Max 1. Then you got another joint here which is like a UNC colorway. They're sitting on the back shelf, no one wants it. It was pretty crazy to see so many OG 90s though. Granted it is, you know, the purple and the pink colorway, but you would think people would be snapping them up. From what I heard prior to Christmas and around that sort of time, they were going for about 80 bucks on special, so they've still got heaps. But for me, as pretty as it all looked, it was a bust. So I figured, while I'm down here, let's go check out some of the other places. I checked out Asics next, and it was pretty crazy. They had like set up a track in the middle of the store, which was, they had like concrete, wood, grass, and maybe tartan. So depending on what type of, you know, surface you needed for your shoes, you could test them out. That's very impressive. But the only joints that I liked weren't on sale. I just wanted some Quantums, man. They had the Quantums on special that, like the original looking Quantums that I saw in like retail catalogs, let's say 2-3 years ago. I don't know that this shoe is 2-3 years old because they don't have a date code like Nike does, but they looked old. Also said for years, because I wore Asics. I wore the Asics Gel Nimbus a lot to train in that sort of stuff back in the day. Also, I said they've got the technology, they could make a really good shoe, but they just need to get the silhouette. And years ago I said if they could make something kind of like an Air Max 90, Air Max 1, Air Max LTD type thing, but with the gel, it'd be insane. I also said if they did something where the whole sole was gel, it'd be crazy. This wasn't it. Them shit's horrible. Horrible. And you know, the price reflected that. They were on a super special. But I did find these and I almost pulled the trigger, but for whatever reason, I just didn't like them. I feel like what I'm saying with the Air Max 90, Air Max 1 LTD type thing, they're close, but it needs to have that modern flair. So have that type of sole with the gel at the back like that, with the shape how it is, but with more like, say, the quantum aesthetics, with that, you know, more gloss rather than the leather strapping. I don't know. I feel like I'm onto something here. I did try on the navy joints. They were like $60. I come so close to buying both, just because they were $60, right? Then I remembered the video that I made not long ago where we go see the Foot General, and I gave him a whole bunch of shoes I bought that I hadn't worn just because they were cheap. And I thought, you know what? Probably don't need them. I'll tell you what, if you're a size 12, you'd be killing it. OG Ken size. I remember when Ken size came out. When I was working within a retail platform, the amount of people used to come in for Ken size, it was like Kayano, then Ken size, right? Kayanos were huge because they were such an expensive shoe. People just go for the most expensive. They didn't know that the Nimbus was a neutral shoe. The Kayano was for people that overpronate, right? So the Kensai was like a level above. There was no foam on the heel, it was just all gel. And I remember they were huge for a minute. They were huge. Athletes, they were exclusive to Athlete's Foot. So that might have been the last time Athlete's Foot did any good. But for whatever reason, they decided to retro them recently. And I see them doing some little things, but obviously this colorway didn't work, or they just got one left. Because that price is insane. But the real reason we are here is I did buy a couple things, and it's not from where you would expect. Platypus for me has been, I don't want to mince my words, it's been terrible for a long time. They had a change at the top. Hype and Platypus, I believe, are owned by the same people, so they wanted to differentiate them, right? I feel like the stuff with Platypus now sits in like a middle range between retail and fashion in terms of sports brands. But it's stuff you would never wear. They're like these almost good shoes, like the Nike Air Max XE. You know, you'll get 90s at Hype, but you'll get the Air Max XE at Platypus. But for whatever reason, I thought I'd have a look. They had like up to 70% off or something, and I was like, man, let's see how we go. First joints I got, there's only, oh that's weird. I was about to say there's only like one silhouette from New Balance that I mess with, and it ain't these. I was going to say the 574, which I thought these were, but these are the 515. But for $80, these are dope. I'm not mad at these, I just thought that was something completely different. I wonder what the difference is between these and the 574. I'm gonna have to suss out my 574s to have a look. These are super clean, they'll go with anything. That smart casual sort of vibe, so I won't get in super trouble wearing sneakers going out. You know them vibes, guys, I know you do. And for $80, what were they? I feel like they were 140, but for $80, I'm not mad at these at all. And my other New Balance get a lot of wear, so good pickup. So we just finished up at DFO. Nike store was alright. It's a really good presentation, probably a big step up from the Auburn factory outlet. Nothing really I liked. You can tell that it had been recently rated. I believe they did have a big sale at DFO like last weekend. But I did see the Air Max Zeros, which was crazy, and I checked the date thinking they're going to be super old, but they're actually 2020, so someone was doing them last year. I've never seen them, but it is what it is. I did come across a crazy sale at Nautica, up at 50% off store wide. Absolutely nothing in my size but 2 pair of shorts. There was about 30 things I wanted, but that's all I could get. Asics, probably the craziest setup I've ever seen, but nothing there really. I came close on them casual joints, but what I did pull the trigger on is something I alluded to ages ago. And I said if it was at the right price, I would grab it. And it was at the right price. It was at the best possible price I've ever seen. And I'm going to show you that right now. If you remember my last video where we talked about Auburn, there was a shoe that I almost pulled the trigger on, but it wasn't at the right price. I was saying, I think they were 250 down to 120. I kind of wanted them just like close to 100, right? So I held out, because I figured it's not really going to do much, but probably sit on the wall like it. I can't see me wearing these too much because they are super egregious, but I had to. For this price, let me just double check. Yeah, suggested retail $250. I got these for $60. How could you not? For $60. You know, we've had this conversation. My name is MITUS, gold, all this. $60. I had to, man, I had to. These are actually a women's shoe, but they went right up to women's 14. So you know they had male sneakers intended as well. When I spoke to her, I said, I know these are women's shoes. She said, oh, no, they're unisex. Like I give a fuck. I just want the shoes. Shout outs to the lovely girl that helped me, you know. But I don't know what these are. I've been looking at them for a minute, and now I've got them $60. I'm gonna have to figure out something crazy to do with these. Maybe I wear them for film clip, whatever. Air Max 90, one of my favorite silhouettes in an all gold colorway. My name is MITUS. How can you go wrong? What's crazy is if we go to sneakers, they're still on there, right? Even though they're on sale, or they're in the factory outlets and they're in the Platypus outlet, which is where I got them from. But if we go there, right? Are they sold out? Or are they available? I can't see them there. No. But if we go to right down the bottom, the toddler version, right, is $60. I got the adult version for the toddler price. That's a bargain for me. I think Auburn had its own feel, right? It was there was other outlets near it, but it was still further away. You went there, you maybe got some Krispy Kremes as well, because they had the shop there, get a little milkshake. It had its own feel. Back in the day, if you hit up the right person and said, what have you got out the back, you might get something crazier. Now it's a little bit more commercial, a little bit more corporate, all on the up and up. I get that, that's cool. Everything looks fantastic there in terms of the Nike factory outlet at DFO, and maybe with it being surrounded by others in an enclosed sort of environment, you got more options to go there. If you don't hit at Nike, it's not a wasted trip. If you are coming from Newcastle like I am, if I drove all the way to Newcastle and then there was nothing, I would have been a little bit annoyed. But I ended up with two great purchases. I got 2 pairs of shoes for what? $140? I saved. Let me do my maths here. I saved something crazy, you know what I mean? I'm gonna work it out and just superimpose it here later. They couldn't be bothered going into Photoshop and superimposing. Who the fuck says superimposing anymore? Couldn't be fucked doing up a graphic just for that. Basically saved $250. Like, I got the gold shoes for free essentially. So, crazy, right? Back to the video. Insane. But the other thing too, I was able to, breeze through the Nautica store, Calvin Klein, Champion, all types of things that I enjoy outside. The only other store that I purchased from was the Nautica store. Honestly, they had 50% off, and if they had everything in my size, I would have done some damage. There were some really nice pieces there, and half price, how can you go wrong? Look, I had a great day at DFO. It definitely won't be my last time. It's not as scary as I thought when I, driving past, seeing the traffic in years gone by. So I'm going to be back. I'm definitely going to be making the trip more often to get down there. Hopefully I'll get one of them emails with the special VIP, give me the discount code, and we'll see what happens. This has been another episode of Creased. Like, subscribe, do all that fancy stuff, and we'll see you next time.